Morning, everyone.
Good morning, Rabbi.
We are learning Mishna Nedarim, Parak Vav, Chapter 6, Mishna Beis, Mishnah 2. Okay. Hanoiser b'masa kedera. Someone makes an eder, saying that he may not have benefit from what's called masa kedera. Literally translated means what's made in a pot, what's prepared in a pot. So as we said, that anytime we try to understand what's included in a person's neder, we have to follow the way people talk, what people mean. So eina aser ela b'maisa resachta. The only thing he is prohibited in is what's called masa resachta, which means something that was boiled for a long time. That is what the connotation of these words are. And as they bring down here from the Tosfos Yantam in the notes, this refers to certain boiled foods, including rice and grits. Kind of food that you boil for a long time, I'm assuming it means in a pot. And therefore, if that is the wording that he used, masa kedera, which really means made in a pot, it refers to these things, these certain types of boiled foods that you boil them for a long time. However, Amar kainem hayoyre lekedera sheni toyim. But let's say he says, whatever goes into a pot should be like a carbon that I will not eat it. And as we said, the fact that now this case, the Mishnah adds the word konam, that it's like a carbon, sheni toyim, not going to taste, is really irrelevant to the halacha. What's important is the fact that now the wording that he used is hayoyre lekedera, which literally means what goes down into a pot. Then he's forbidden for anything that's cooked in a pot, even if it's cooked quickly. So masa kedera, what's prepared in a pot, means something. That's what a person means when he says masa kedera. It means something boiled for a long time, not for a short time. But if the wording he uses is hayoyre kedera, what goes down into a pot, meaning what goes into a pot, not what's prepared in a pot, but what goes into a pot, then already it means anything that is cooked in a pot, even if it's cooked quickly. Okay? Now, I want to read to you what the Bartanura here says about this principle that we've been mentioning, that by Nedarim, it's halach achaloshim b'nei adam, we follow how people speak. So, the Bartanura says like this, I'ika duchta, the kari letzli mavushal tzli. Remember, in the previous Mishnah, we had a case of somebody who makes a neder from mavushal. So we said, if he says mavushal, what is he permitted to eat? Roast. Because when people use the word mavushal, it doesn't mean roast. And let's say you come to a place where when people say the word mavushal, they do mean roast. And when they say roast, they don't mean roast, they mean mavushal. Let's say in a place, that's how people say, V'ika duchta the kari letzli mavushal tzli. If you have a place where people call what's roasted mavushal, which we would translate as cooked, and they call something that is mavushal tzli roasted, then hanoider min mavushal aser b'tzli. Then a person who makes a neder from mavushal is forbidden in roast. Yesterday's Mishnah didn't say that. Yesterday's Mishnah said if you say mavushal, you're permitted to eat something that's roasted. But that's only because the Mishnah is talking about a place where when they say mavushal, they don't mean roasted. But if a place that when they say mavushal, they mean roasted, then roasted will be forbidden also. Okay? And anything else that we've been talking about. It all depends on the place and the time. That's what it depends on. How are people in that place at that time using these words? Now, the iruba karile hachi umiuta karile hachi. Let's say you have a certain type of word. Let's just use the word mavushal for an example, right? And you're in a place where the majority of the people call it call something tzli, something roasted mavushal, and a minority don't. Okay? Or let's say the other way around. Let's say in a situation like the case of the Mishnah, the majority of people, when they say the word mavushal, don't mean roasted, but there's a minority that do. Okay, so do you follow the majority?
All depends what.
The answer is no, you don't follow the majority. We say, if you have a majority that call it this way, a minority that call it another way, or include something else, what the majority wouldn't. Loy amrinan zil basaruba. We do not say, well, you follow the majority. Rather, elahavi safek nedarim. It actually has the status of a questionable neder. What does he mean? And what does he mean to include? V'chal safek nedarim lahachmer. And all safek nedarim, any kind of neder that's a doubt, you got to be stringent. So it all depends on what you're going to, it's not a question here of following the majority or following the minority. If there is such a situation where some do and some don't, or some do one way and some do another way, even if the majority were to do one way, you would not say, oh, this person is part of the majority or follows the majority, but we have a doubt as to what he means, and in those kinds of situations, we'd have to be stringent in what we say he becomes forbidden in and what he doesn't. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful Shabbos.
Is there a
No, when it
certain time?
says,